Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and in this video, a little bit different, we're taking a mini break from the, well, not really a break, but a break from the D-Max for this particular video. Never fear, there is some pretty gnarly mods coming for this guy, so if you haven't followed along for that build, check out the playlist. There is stacks more juicy mods coming for that, but today, I thought I would do a bit of an introduction into a little bit of a mini-series for the camper trailer. And this is going to be a little bit of a mini modding the already modded Black Series Alpha camper trailer. So I've had this guy for a little while now, and as you can see, it looks a little bit different to how the factory one looks like. And so I put it out there to you guys to say whether, you know, that'd be something you'd be interested in and seeing me further modify the already modded camper. So here it is, and this is episode 1 of that. You can check out the chapters down below if you are watching this video on YouTube, and we're going to run through today all the different bits and pieces that we're going to do to update the camper. So the body down below here has basically stayed the same as it came out of the factory. It's been holding up really well. Everything underneath stayed the same. I've added some stripping and that kind of thing just to, you know, snazz it up a little bit. But everything above is all VideoShowMeHow. So we've added this big box, a couple of big doors. So the idea is that I use this as storage as well. So I keep all sleeping gear, that sort of stuff, and all of my camping gear in here. So the idea is when you deploy it, you can pop these guys up and get in and out to all of your storage. The problem we have with this and what we're going to be modifying is basically some of these doors and where the kitchen is. So the kitchen I had left factory, I may have got carried away and I've already cut some of this out before I realized I probably should do a series on this. This would really sit out like that. You'd have your spare tire sitting here. If it was muddy, that sort of stuff, it was just a bit of a pain being where it was located. So we're going to be doing something with that. The other thing is this weighs about 5 tons. This whole back section is just insanely over-engineered and weighty. I'm going to be relocating where this spare tire is. We may even be putting it up the top because this is going to go. We're ripping all of this out. And that way we're left with a giant hole. No, we're not going to be left. We're going to form all of this in, and we're going to cover this in so that it's just a normal skin. We're going to skin all of that. This door here is also going to go. I'm going to skin all of that in because I find it's not really needed. So we're going to save a bunch of weight there. We're going to save a little bit of weight there and simplify the back. Body-wise, around the side, this door's staying and it will become the main access point. You can see inside here, I'd built out this cage, and that's really helpful because when I put sleeping bags and that sort of stuff up here on the side, it means that when we get into our side drawer here, which lives over to the side, nothing can fall down in there. So basically we're going to replicate that cage over on this side here. And then finally around the front, oh, check out the D-Max, yeah. Around the front, there was an enormous sort of toolbox that lived just in there. It was full steel. It also weighed about 5 tons. So that went a little while ago. I've only just acquired this big toolbox here, which works really, really well. It's much lighter. It's also much taller, which means we're going to be able to fit a whole bunch more gear in here. But other than that, that part's going to stay the same. A couple of provisions for gas holders. We might replace these with some better quality ones, and a couple of extra jerry can holders just there. So kitchen-wise, like I said, that used to live down here. So the idea is you'd get up to camp, you'd unbolt here, you'd fling this guy around, and then this section here would go out, and it would go out a fair way. It really stopped you being able to walk under cover if it was raining. So I'm going to redo this whole box in some alloy instead, and where we're going to put it's going to change too. So because that's all going to get closed in, I'm going to go right there. So this box is going to get pulled out of there. We already have our slides and everything else that is ready to rock and roll there. So we're going to reuse all of that. Basically going to make the kitchen that's exactly the same dimensions as this, but out of alloy. Still get a sink in there, still get our water plumbed in there. But the difference will be when you get to camp, you put your 270-degree awning out. This guy is now right at the very end of the shelter section. Now storage-wise, there's only a few mods I'm going to be doing. I've already built the box, and as you can see, I'm kind of using it as some camper storage at the moment. Normally on a trip, all of this stuff gets pulled out and we only take the stuff we need. We have our new box that's going to live just on the front here. We've got to finish painting that up and tying that down, solar panel, electrical, all of that good stuff. I've got storage, I guess you could call it, for the Max Tracks and what have you on the side. And then other than that, we've kind of already got same sort of story as the other side. We've got some drawers in there. In the front here, we just have straight storage box. Tidy that up a little bit, put some sort of, probably some little boxes or something in there to maximize that. And then on the sides here, we've got some upgrade plans. So then that kicks us into electrical. So electrical side of things, this is the setup that lives so far, and it's been pretty good in both sides, on both this side and then around, same sort of deal on this side. We have our batteries, and we're rocking some AGMs at the moment. We're going to be upgrading these guys to some lithium. From a weight perspective, that's going to be excellent. These little suckers here are about 32 kilos each. So add a second one and we're at about 64, right? So that'll be the plan, to remove those guys and put a single lithium. Technically, we should increase the usable capacity compared to the one battery from the two, if I put 135 in there. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm also going to make all of the electrical just be in this side. So we've already got the Victron solar regulator up in here, and that is going to run through to the front. That part's still going to stay the same, because what we're going to do is on the front, I've already got the panel just for a little bit of passive charge. I do have a big battery blanket and what have you there as well, and we already have our connections in here to plug into the Mighty D-Max there for some BCDC type charging. So that unit is all going to live into here. Same with the solar. Just deciding on which way I go there, whether I get another BCDC from Red Arc, which is probably going to be the way to go, and mount the BCDC up into here. And then in here, this is going to free up a bunch of space. At the moment, we have our water and what have you. We've got our big water pump and what have you in there, draws from the tank. That's a 80 litre, I believe, underneath and plumbed through to there. We'll talk about the water in a sec. But that's going to free up a bunch of space here. And the reason for that is that whole drawer is going to get relocated into here, hence why I need to clear this out. I need the space. So, and then on the inside, we've had a few things going on. Over this side, we had our pure sine wave 2000 watt inverter. And then on this side, we had our little panel here. It was kind of a temporary type deal, but it had all our switches on underneath here. And then we had our water gauge here. This one tells how much water is actually being used, and it's got a little impeller. And then we were rocking for our lighting, the hardcore units. They've been great, and this is where I had all the switches. You can switch between orange or what have you, and this is what they look like. They're those little strip lights, orange and white. They're magnetic strips on the back, which works really well with all the steel here. I'm going to keep those and use those ad hoc because they are a great unit. However, we're going to some actual proper lighting. So all that's going to go, we'll go to some permanent lighting. Right there is probably a good spot for one that's angled down, some floodlights. That's what's going to happen from a lighting. We're still going to have a big panel in here, and that will take care of our switching. So we're going to redo all of that as well. And that probably brings us on to the next little upgrades we're going to do is the water. We've had some running water here before, which is excellent. We do have our big stainless tank, and we're looking to duplicate that in front of the axle. So we'll go up to about that 160, 180 litre mark. So a bit of extra water storage is going to be excellent. We do have our hot water shower there, and that's the unit there. So the idea is we've got everything ready to go. In here, we just plug everything in. The idea is if you want that shower, got our shower tent here, undo it down that end, swivel it around, peg it down, and then you'd have plenty of room to run, click into your water, and then the gas bottle would be there to run the hot showers. Tap's going to stay there. We'll put the additional tap, probably work out how to combo this and have it so that the kitchen doesn't need to be plugged in, plugged out. You can just reel it in and out. Not sure how that's going to work, but we'll work through that because that'll be cool. And then that way we can get rid of everything in here, get that down the front so that drawer can go nicely into there. Now the ATM of this trailer comes in at 1.4 tonnes, so the 1400 kilos, we should be well within that now. I did have this on a weighbridge some time ago and we came in at about the 1150 kilos, so we're doing okay. Now I did pull the trigger and order one of these guys. This is a tow ball weight, and I've put that on the camper trailer as it is at the moment, and we're coming in at 120 odd kilos, so we're miles below that 350 limit for the D-Max, but I also don't want to get anywhere near that, so I want to keep this balanced right. So throughout the build, I'm going to be keeping an eye on weight as we go as well. And then what I'm going to do, as when we finish this in about 5 episodes time, I'm going to put this guy on a public weighbridge and see what we come out at. And along the way, the same story with this, we've got our baseline measurement of about that 120, 125. We'll see where we end up at the end. And the final piece of the puzzle that we're going to have a play with our modding the already modded camper trailer is the coating, the paint. This is the factory coverage. I don't know what that stuff's called, but it's not just paint, it's something else, but it hasn't, in all honesty, been too bad. This stuff that I've built already has a Raptor liner in it. So the plan will be probably Raptor the whole thing. Now it's going to be a bit of an effort because you've got to sand it back. You can check out the other video on the channel on how to Raptor, but that's probably what we're going to go with. We're probably going to finish Raptoring the whole thing. Whether it stays black, not really sure. We have the black and blue theme going on the D-Max, so I think maybe a color change might be in the mix. Let me know what you reckon. If we are going to change the color, what should it be? Let me know what that theme should look like in the comments below. And that's about it. So that's the summary of the build that I'm going to be doing on this guy. It's probably going to be about the 5 odd videos, so follow along if you're interested. Now, if there is anything that you're really keen to see detail on as part of what we've just kind of outlined as far as the build, let me know in the comments of this particular video, because we're going to be getting cracking on this ASAP, and I'm keen to get it finished in all its new modified glory so we can hit some tracks and also hit some bigger trips. Now, never fear, the D-Max is still here, and there's some really chunky mods coming out very soon for this one here. I'm about to kick into a video straight after this, actually, so I can't wait to show you guys what else is planned for that. These videos are going to be sort of sprinkled in between the releases for the D-Max build. So keep an eye out on the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, consider doing so. You can hit the button, ring the bell, all of that jazz, and you won't miss any of this build series. As always, a massive thank you to the Patreons of Video Show Me How. You guys are an absolute bunch of legends, and your support really helps me get stuck into building out content just like this. But as always, guys, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.